may crumble, it's
3 for the bricks in the wall near my bed.
2 for the bond of our community's focus.
1 for the dreams kept alive in my head.
None for the moments where home felt hopeless.
And though it may crumble, it's 3 for the bricks in the wall near my bed. I can remember sharing a bedroom with my brothers, the sound of our sleeping, breathing patterns lining up each evening. I can remember the skittering of cockroaches flitting out of the corner of the kitchen. I can remember late night family bonding over a flooded basement, filling basins up with sewage water, 1 plastic cup at a time. We made a home out of it all. Mongolia, Libya, Saskatoon, we made a home out of it all. We loved the walls we were given. Living just transient enough to pre-grieve the way it would hurt when we inevitably had to leave. Before we lost belief,
I can remember my home being a delicate collage of overfrayed fabric exported from an exhausted, but still hopeful mother and father. Siblings building snow forts our imaginations would contort. That time in my life meant everything, although it was so short. My family had a collective desire of wanting to build a foundation in small-town Saskatchewan, under the never-ending skies with never-ending dreams, escaping the never-ending cries with never-bending regimes. But the smiles were short-lived. When a divorce forced a single mother with 4 kids, police sirens forced entries, I had protection with closed eyelids. Seems like no matter what we did and how hard we tried to build a home, we were confined by 4 walls that kept us apart and alone. And though it may crumble, it's
2 for the bond of our community's focus. As a nomadic kid, I made a home out of anyone who would hold these bones. Friend groups formed more like pufferfish spines than good times. Growing up in North Africa and being the odd one out really knew how to divide my self-esteem in half. Every new school was a brand new habitat, and I had to form the knack for figuring out what kind of friend would best defend my act. I formed community like you would forge a sword, but fear corrupts a home and metal rusts alone when you leave trust ignored. So I tried to count my wins and blessings on the same hand.
My protection was my wit and my ability to triumph and withstand. Stoic I tried to exist despite being surrounded in quicksand. Sometimes change comes swift even when you feel underplanned. And as I grew and came to terms, I quickly learned how to be formal. Attended 5 different schools by grade 6, and I knew that wasn't normal, despite my desire to try and desperately fit within. My name is Ahmed. I had dark hair, brown eyes, and noticeably darker skin. And though it may crumble, it's
1 for the dreams kept alive in my head. Some of the best homes I've ever held, I built myself in my own mental mechanisms. I take a pencil to the prisons I can't escape. I used to spend hours before falling asleep, just sitting in my mind, hitting rewind on my favorite memories. But over time, that space turned more rot than remedy. Mood disorders and disorderly life patterns, growing mold over every brick I'd built up in my lucid dreaming. How do you cherish a crumbling mind when it was the only home you had left remaining?
At that age, my home was my headphones. Discman had a steady stock of batteries. It calmed me to my bones, despite my surroundings being unsatisfactory. Some things beyond my capacity. There was a protection within that music.
Raw lyrics over a rhythm, it was perfectly timed and therapeutic.
But whenever that music was off, I was shocked back to reality. Always picking up the pieces from a fractured and failing family.
Always mixing up the reasons for why I was feeling angrily.
Turns out I was seeking a home that wasn't just assembled in fantasy.
Cause it's 1 for the...
None for the moments where home felt hopeless.
Cause it's 2 for
None
the...
for the moments where home felt hopeless.
Cause it's 3
None
for the...
for the moments where home felt hopeless.
Cause any moment where home is grown is prone to be a throne where hope is shown.
So there are no moments where home feels hopeless, because
any moment where home is grown is prone to be a throne where hope is shown. Hard to build a home in a land that's not your own.
Hard to build a family when the rent is more than your salary.
Hard to make a life when the soldiers come at night and burn down your olive grove.
We ought to know
better than to stop and grow.
A garden to shade our young and old.
But we can't help but hope. Yeah, we can't help but hope.
3+ decades in, I now see my home built within a foundation of my children. A beautiful wife that supports me every morning. I'm so happy to be living. Even when this world contorts me, I seek to remain forgiving. Always reinforcing the ability to build a brand new and beautiful beginning.
My roots are planted in a neighborhood that knows me. I'll plant a family tree in Treaty 6 and grow a home out of poetry. Oh, to be known and know the dirt you grow on, held by a community of beautifully crafted community builders. I'm sure my walls will crumble again, But I tend to bend to the hope that it will all work out in the end, because it's
3 for the bricks,
and 2 for the bonds, 1 for the dreams that we carry on.
3 for the bricks,
And 2 for the bonds, 1 for the homes where the hope stays strong.